just so you know, it's been recorded. Just to tell you, so we have Gennifer today doing H.U.M.O.R, which is healing, understanding, outreach, motivation, and retention using laughter to provide case management. Go back 1 second, Gennifer. This is yours. But just to let you know what's coming down the pike. So we have Megan Toller doing motivational interviewing during COVID. Oftentimes we think about it as a face-to-face thing, but how do we pivot? Joyce Jones, Rapid Start, prepping in the era of COVID, and many more. You'll recognize a lot of the names and bringing us all together. Now with that, turning it over to you, Gennifer, and really looking forward to your presentation. Please, if you're not muted, please make sure to mute yourself, and we'll have time for questions at the end. Power through.
I am unmuted, correct? Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, rather, everybody. So today I asked you all to come, or we asked you all to come because I love what I do. So more importantly, I hope that by the time I'm finished, you guys will be able to identify your style of client engagement. We'll be able to discuss evidence bases of laughter as an effective mechanism to support healing, understanding, motivation, outreach, and retention. And I'll also hope that we'll be able to enlist laughter as an effective technique toward achieving those goals in case management. So I'm gonna tell you all, like, y'all know how I am. Some of you guys do. But more importantly, I want you guys to know that in my profession, it's always great to see people grow and develop. That's what we're looking for out of our clients. I even like watching myself grow. So no matter where I work, I always find myself with Brenda. Now, Brenda is like that client who drives me crazy. We all got one, right? But you can't wait to see them get to the point where they are successful, they've reached their goals, and they're doing what it takes to be successful as it comes to case management and their overall life goals. So it's easy to do that along the care continuum, I think, because H.U.M.O.R has the capacity to capture and retain the client at each and every point of the care continuum. And I want to take a minute. We're all professionals, so I know everybody has pen and paper, and you were ready for this to be interactive, right? So I want to share with you guys that case managers, various titles, medical and non-medical case managers, nurse case managers, depending on the scope of the program or services being provided. You may interact with housing case managers, social workers act as case managers, and mental health case managers. And I need you guys to, I can't see, I don't think I can see the chat, but if you guys would just kind of like shout out or put in the chat some case management functions that you're familiar with, that would be helpful. So along the care continuum, right, we know that diagnosis, treatment, linkage to care, engagement, retention, early start or rapid initiation treatment, and prescribed ARTs, as well as viral suppression are the goals, right? So looking at the case managers that we have listed here, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to just kind of look up and tell me who fits where. So I'm gonna start the poll and see what answers you guys come up with. And there can be more than one answer for each question. So the first question, let me guys look, got it. Which case manager lends their skills to diagnosis? And if you have multiple answers, hopefully it's no right or wrong, but you guys should be able to give me a little bit of feedback on that. Oh, let's see. Okay. I should use only, it's only 22% of you. 33. Climbing. Okay, this is pretty good, pretty good. So I'm gonna share the results with you guys, and you guys see that? So you guys think medical and nurse case managers. Okay, cool, A and C. All right, sounds good. So we're gonna try this. We're gonna move on to the second polling question. Hold on. And which case manager adheres to linkage to care? You guys can put in as many. You guys can only put in one though, right? But it's pretty good to poll. I think this is okay. Oh, okay. 100% of you said everybody. Wait. Changing your answers, are we? Is that called cheating? It's not cheating.
You gave us the answers too early, Jen. You have to wait for us to respond.
Oh, sorry. So originally it did say 100% of you, but I didn't give you guys time to respond. Sorry. Okay. So moving on to engagement and retention. I'll give you guys a little bit more time. There is a clock here. Okay. There should be a soundtrack to this. Okay. So we got about 81%. And so that's pretty fair. Can you guys see those results? You guys say non-medical and social workers and mental health. I like the fact that you guys included the mental health. Absolutely. Okay. Gonna move right on into question 4. Which case manager adheres to rapid initiation treatment? Who's supportive there? Medical and nurse. Okay. So if about 90% of you having voted, we got a A, C. Okay. You guys know your stuff. Right. And finally, we are gonna ask, which case manager adheres to achieving viral load suppression? I have a soundtrack. You guys don't have a soundtrack. I have a soundtrack. Okay. All right. So it looked like you guys are pretty even split among those answers. So, well, okay. Know that those answers do apply across the board, and they identify 4 different styles of case management. These are 4 styles of case management that I know I have probably demonstrated. I know I've used. I know I've been like, these are 4 styles of case management that I like to think are effective at times, and then there are times when, you know, they may require a bit of tweaking. So the first is stop, drop, and roll, right? So think about case manager A, which was a medical case manager, and how medical case manager can have a way of being stop, drop, and roll, like immediately springing into action. She's the crisis counselor. He's the crisis counselor. At the client, let me tell you something, the client gets everything that they need, right? That happens, okay? But then we've also got like case managers like myself, who are probably more like a tough love case manager. And it's not motherly, but it certainly kind of helps to push the client towards their goals, their long-term plans, and what we can do to support you, not necessarily take care of you, but to support you in taking care of yourself. And then we've got case managers who I like to think are the clockers, those who, you know, time is money, every window is closing, everything is about time, everything is about being on time, making things happen in a timely fashion. You know, it's really about tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, moving the client through the process. And then we've got Santa's little helpers, you know, not because it's Christmas, but because all year long, they're just so eager to help. They're very happy to help. You want it, you got it. They give the client everything. There's nothing that the client can't have, right? But the one thing I can tell you is this. We probably are robbed of the opportunity to take a minute and kind of have that core engagement style with our client. And that engagement style is laughter. Now, right now, you're probably asking yourself, what in the world do I have to laugh about with my clients, right? There's plenty that you can laugh about. How do I know? Because laughter is the best medicine. How many people actually believe that? I didn't do a poll for this, so you can just kind of like give me, I did camp for a while, so you guys can just kind of like give me a wave if you agree that laughter is the best medicine. It not only heals, but it also helps to lighten the daily loads and bring a smile to the face of everybody that we meet, right? Like I see cameras popping on now. They like, all right, they like, y'all giggle. That's enough to let me know that we should always consider trying this and just seeing if we can get our clients to crack a smile, to laugh, to just, you know, look at things differently, right? Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. We want them to laugh. We want them to move forward. But we understand that every day we come to work, or we work from home, or we go to the office, or however it is that we're doing our job, we still got things going on, right? You got to go to work. You got to help them. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that every time you give them a chance to smile, every time you make them laugh, it does something for you, okay? It does something for you. I know y'all saw the movie Patch Adams. I myself, like, I love Robin Williams, but one of the things that people really take for granted is in all of his greatness, in all he was, in making other people laugh, he had nobody to do that for him, okay? Which is why ultimately he did take his own life. But these are the kind of things that I think about, and this is what helps to generate understanding among people when you just take a minute to look at things from a different perspective. So then you have to ask yourself, okay? You have to ask yourself, how in the world am I going to be motivated to do that? Well, according to this, no matter what industry you're in, sales, service, education, teachers motivate students every day using humor as a strategy at the beginning, middle, and end of every day. Let me tell you something. I probably wake up out of my sleep and laugh sometimes. You know, I'm laughing because my knee hurt and I'm only 43 years old. But I'm going to laugh at that today because it might help to take the pain away, okay? I'm going to laugh in a moment when things seem really difficult. But you know what? I've been here before. I like to think that humor is everywhere, and you just have to take the initiative every day to get in sync with your inner, and I love this, humor being. I wish I had thought of that. But a humor being is somebody who can find the humor in everything. It may not be funny in this moment, but it will be funny at some point, right? Now, when we're doing outreach, there's the Laughter League. There's Laughter for a Change. We've been to comedy shows. We've had that moment where your coworker comes in from the water cooler and just tells you a funny story about what happened last night with the kids. We've had that moment when, let me tell you something, I laugh at funerals. Why? Because I like to call them funerals. There's always a moment where something happens at a funeral that makes you say, I can't believe that happened, but you needed it to break the tension, whether it was something you saw on the sideline or something being directly presented to the people, right? So I know that the outreach efforts are there because, one, We work in outreach. We provide case management. We make things happen. We do this with our client. We're reaching out, phone calls, emails, text messages. You know, we giving them phones. We talking to them. We've made things happen. Look at everything that we've been through. And today, I'm not even going to lie. Today, I'm probably up to my 4th meditation a day. I'm going to laugh about that later, right? I'm going to laugh about that later, but I'll tell you why just a little bit later. Okay? Our goal is to retain them. Our goal is to keep our clients so engaged, so enthralled with our services that they want to keep coming back, that they want to reach their goals. You listen, you're healing them every time you make them giggle, right? You are encouraging them. You're showing them that humor is a reward, right? Humor activates the brain's dopamine reward system. It stimulates your goal-oriented motivation, right? Now, I laugh every time I tell myself I'm a runner, right? Because anybody who knows me knows that I ain't running nowhere. I'm running my mouth, I'm running my engine, but I am not running nowhere. But when I hit the pavement every day, here's what happens. The concrete becomes my dance floor. I love to dance. So since life says dance like nobody's watching, guess what I do? All up and down the street, I'm dancing because I'm that motivated. And I'm so rewarded with how I feel when it's all over with that I have retained the ability to actually get up and go out here and run. Thank God it snowed because I didn't have to do it yesterday or today, okay? So, what are the benefits of laughter? Well, research has proven that laughter is a potent endorphin releaser, right? Releases a lot of endorphins, gets a lot of things out. You know, it also forms social bonds. Now, I know it forms social bonds because, one, believe it or not, I've got social anxiety, right? Nobody would believe it. But I love what I do, and I'm so motivated to do what I do that when I'm in that environment, you would think that I actually enjoy being social. I don't. I'm just motivated, right? So what it does is it also fosters brain connectivity. It's the reason why I was able to sit back and say, what makes me go? What makes me do this? Knowing that I'm going to make somebody laugh today. Now, you all have done this unknowingly, right? It's also central to your relationships because here's what I'm going to tell you. You don't want to be around the person who's grumpy all the time, right? If they got RBF, you more likely, okay, to not deal with the person who has RBF than you are to deal with the person who wears a smile. Are we not? So it's central to your relationships. That coworker that smiles when they walk by, you build rapport, okay? And the same goes for your client. There's a case manager walking through Bartlett right now, and she's smiling, but here's the thing. That person ain't even on her caseload, but that's somebody that they look for, right? It also acts as an antidepressant. Now, Lord knows I could probably use one of those, but I don't want to take a pill, so I just keep laughing, right? We've been through so much that we can't present as depressed, and we can't present as anxious, and we can't present as overwhelmed when we're working with our clients. So the first way we should use to engage them is a smile. Just listen, just smile when you walk in the room, and I promise you, it'll change their whole visit. They can hear you smiling over the phone. You know that, right? I'm just checking. It also protects the heart and boosts the immune system, which we know we're trying to get to a point of immunosuppression, which means, right? So, here's a couple of things that I like to do with my clients, and these are a couple of interventions that I've used, and you can use them verbally, you can use them paper and pen, you can use them across disciplines, I promise you, because I even use it with my friends, even though I try not to treat them like clients, right? So the first is an acronym, because we all familiar with all of the acronyms in the world. Here's a new one for you, right? This one is SMILE. What happens when that client walks into your office and they say, Miss Gennifer, Miss Gennifer, Miss Gennifer. When they call you 4 times a day, but you ain't seen them in 4 months. Now you blowing my phone up. Here's what I need you to do, sweetie. I need you to smile. Smile for me. Because when she smiles, whatever it is that she's calling me for, whatever it is that they need, whatever it is they're asking for, I need them to stop because you're having a moment of adversity. So stop, okay? And I need you to measure how this moment compares to the last time I heard from you, right? Tell me how this is different from the last time I heard from you. Tell me where things have changed since I talked to you last, right? And then the I refers to the impact that this moment is having on you. Is this truly a crisis? Is this truly a moment of desire, or is this a moment of need? Is this something that is going to impact you long term and keep you from reaching your goals, right? But what also happens when they smile is this. They learn new information or a new skill, right? Because if you are having a crisis, there's a reason why this is the second, third, fourth time you've had the same crisis, right? So let's look at what you can do to make a change in this moment, right? When they do that, if they have truly measured the difference and looked at the impact, they learn to embrace that experience, don't you? Don't you? Because there's something about a moment of, it's like passing your first test. When you passed the test and you was like, whoa, I knew I was going to ace it. But then the next test got a little harder, right? You've retained that information from the previous test and added a little something to it. You smile every time you see that grade. I know I do. I'm a little geek though. I'm a little geek. Okay. The other thing is this, and I would love to see you guys use the chat for this if you don't have pen and paper. But the other thing that you can do is this. This is one of the ways that I like to work with my clients and identify things about them that they may not know, things about them that they have not considered. Now, my name is long, it's 8 letters, but I use those 8 letters to make an acrostic, right? Gennifer. Got the letters all stacked up. Who's got the shortest name in the room? I can see you guys, right? It's got the Aaron, Raina. Okay. Shortest name in the room. Okay. I'll use a name that's not so long. Okay.
It's probably me, Toya.
Toya.
T-O-Y-A.
Ooh, Iris. Ooh, I-R-I-S.
Iris.
Yes, I-R-I-S. Thank God you got that other I in there, honey, because I-R-S, they not friendly. I don't like them, right? So using Iris's name, what I want to do is use the letters to identify negative experience or fears that she has. Right? Now, I know Iris is very independent. I know Iris is reliable. I know Iris is interested in a lot of things. And I know that Iris is, Iris is good at statistics. I'll tell you that. She passed that class, right? I probably would have got her the ticket for me, right? But I know that there are some things that Iris wants. So Iris would then use the other side, IRIS, to identify how she's going to reach those goals. Iris is going to learn to be a bit more inquisitive. And we teach our clients how to be inquisitive about what they need, what they want, how to go get it, right? This is called goal setting. My thing is this. As Gennifer, I've incurred a lot of grief over the course of my life. I can honestly say that. But I learned to turn grief into a gift that I can use to make other people feel comfortable in their moments, right? So when somebody else is going through, I've learned that it's okay for me to be a bit garrulous and talkative to them about it because they might need that, right? I've always had an expectation of others, but had to take a moment to look at the energy that I was carrying at some point to say, why do I expect so much of other people? Maybe that's because I expect so much of myself. But I recognize that everybody doesn't have that nonchalant attitude, right? So I had to learn to be a bit more reserved in my approach with people. And that includes clients. Now, like I said, some people like the tough love, right? Can anybody use their name? And if you got a nickname, a small name, a short name, a quick name, like for my niece, her name is Ariana, God knows it's long, but there's so much I can do with that name, A-R-I. I identify her as ambitious. I identify her as resilient because she's been through a lot. And I identify her as intelligent because, she takes after her aunt. But These are some of the things that I like to do with my clients to kind of push them to the point where they are now enthusiastic about coming to see their case manager, enthusiastic about going to see their doctor, enthusiastic about getting enrolled in school or whatever it is they like to do, right? So how do you use that, and how do you ensure better engagement with your clients, right? You ask yourself and you ask your client the exact same question. What do I do well? Well, here's what I'm gonna tell you. I like to talk, which is why I said, sure, I'll do a presentation, okay? I like to write. It's the reason why I don't mind working with people and jotting things down. I'm the type person, anything I can read, I can understand. If you want to share directions with me, listen, it took me 9 months to learn how to play spades. Why? Because I didn't read the rules. I just went off of what people told. And it made a difference. We know even when we create a vision board, it's all about what we can visibly see. So writing down what you do well and doing that with your client makes it very easy to engage your clients in the process of looking at what it is they want. You also have to ask yourself, how long have you been doing that? You know, if you just started cooking last year, or if you just started cooking when quarantine started like me, don't try to start a catering business because you're not good at it, okay? That's what you got. Don't try to do that. It's no need for you to jump out there and say that you make a good banana pudding when you don't. I don't even like buying bananas, okay? But ask yourself, what is it that you do very well, and how long have you been doing it? You can ask your client the same thing, because here's what they know. If you got a client who, listen, if you got a client, and we all know that we can have some complex client who loves to make phone calls, then that's the point for you to encourage a job in a call center. Clearly you like to make phone calls because you call me 6 times a week, right? So that's the point. And they say, Miss Gennifer, I'm looking for a job. Okay, I know you like talking on the phone because you tried to hold me on the phone for 40 minutes. Have you thought about a job in customer service? I know you like discussing things with people. Have you thought about going to school for counseling? These are the kind of things that you have to ask of yourself and the client. And then the other thing is, people can be your biggest motivator. See, we already know you got a social bond because you've been out there laughing with people and stuff. But people have always said to you something that you should do. Oh, you should do, oh girl, you do hair real good. They be saying you should do hair, right? That's reason to motivate somebody to go to school. Like, listen to other people. Don't just listen to the one person who's talking. Listen to the people around them. We all know that we can be tuned into conversations around us, right? Sometimes you can hear a conversation around you and it will motivate you just the same as a conversation you're having with somebody else. Now, I want to give y'all some time to talk to me a little bit, so I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is not just my favorite poem, but one of the best poems ever written, by Marianne Williamson. And if you never watched Coach Carter and you've never thought about who you are, now is a great time to ask yourself, what is your deepest fear? We are so caught up in things that probably have very little value to our lives. I thank God for quarantine, because Lord knows there was a lot, you know, that I could have been doing over the course of the last 9 months. Okay? But quarantine really pushed me into a new place, a new energy, and showed me some things about myself and other people, you know. But I've been able to smile through it. I've been able to laugh through it. I've been able to keep contact with my clients through it. I've been able to keep my clients engaged and care, you know, because I woke up every day and I smiled about what this day was to bring. So it's not just this day, but it's this life that they have to live. And when we think about what it is we want for our clients, I want you guys to think about what you fear, but what also motivates you beyond that fear. Can y'all do that? Y'all can do that? I appreciate y'all. And these guys here, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for Dr. Agwu, if it wasn't for Dr. Sanders, if it wasn't for Dr. Fields, and those folks over at Bartlett, those folks over at Sinai, I wouldn't have these clients to test this stuff out on. This is what you guys need to know. but in previous roles, it's worked. Okay? So thank you guys for your time.
Thanks so much, Gennifer. That was awesome. I think I think we want to give people a chance to ask questions, but I know that the biggest question that oftentimes would come to mind for me, I tend to be funny myself, but I think when people say humor, people panic because they're worried about them trying to be humorous and to make light of a situation, et cetera, and not being successful. So what happens when it fails? And I think that may be part of what prevents people from using that as a strategy. And what if you could talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. First and foremost, again, we fear failure. That's the F in my name. And, I had to learn to focus on the intended outcome versus the actual outcome. And we know we do that anyway, right? ETO. But, you have to take that moment of failure as a moment in which you've planted the seed, you've imparted. Might not be funny now, but it'll be funny later. So what it does is it invokes impact for later. Okay? It may not be this very moment, this very situation, but we have to use our own emotional intelligence to certainly pick and choose when and how. Remember, it's something that can take place at the beginning, middle, and or end of each day. So the same thing happens with your case management, your provider visits. It happens at the beginning, middle, and or end of each visit. It doesn't necessarily have to be when you walk into the room, but you know how to, it's learning your client. It's so patient, client, person centered that it works with that person at the moment it needs to work. I promise you it does.
Other questions, comments for Gennifer? Latoya had a lot to say in the chat.
So yes, I was saying a lot to Dr. Abu. I didn't want to distract you, Gennifer. But I just want to say, Jen, that, oh my goodness, like this webinar was like infectious. Like the energy was infectious. It was so great. We're all facing a lot as social workers, as case managers, and servicing clients. Like you don't always even think about humor. I was screenshotting your slides like crazy. And it's funny, I wasn't even thinking about clients. I was thinking about myself. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so good. This is good, great content. I kept texting, but the way you presented the information was amazing. And it's definitely going to change the way that I approach patient care. I always kind of laugh and joke around with my patients, but just the quotes that you presented, being a humor being, and the content was just amazing and on point. Even when you talked about your style, like your case management style. I mean, I'm a social worker. I never even thought about what my style is. And I saw a little bit of myself in each one of those. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm Santa Claus and I'm like the tough love person. And I need to pick one. I was like, oh my goodness, Gennifer is calling me out. So I just want to say, Gennifer, that this webinar gave me more than I thought that I would get today. And I'm very, very proud of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Toya. Much to my chagrin, my work phone is on vibrate right now, and I'm scared I'm gonna miss a client call because I'm just, you know what I mean. But we do. I think that we give so much of ourselves that we forget to, kind of take back. There's a huge reward in watching your client progress. There's, but I think that what we miss certain times is one of the ways that I always describe my job is that I have the autonomy to be so creative. I have the autonomy to kind of like work with my clients from so many aspects. And it's like, okay, I got to attack this first. I got to attack this first. And I think that when we allow the client to kind of like control the tempo, it works a little bit better. You know what I mean? Listen, I got a report to make. I need to make contact with you at least every 30 days, but you like to go MIA for 60 days. You know what? Hey, that's what I got to deal with. I got to deal with those 60. I'm laughing for 59 days because I know day 60 is coming. And when you call on day 60, that's when I'm going to answer the phone and say, well, hello there. You can hear me smiling. And Miss Gennifer, I need to make an appointment. I know. So I think, there is a lot to be said for just giving them what you truly feel. You can and you can't sugarcoat it with your clients, you know. But again, this doesn't just work for our population, this works for us, because remember, it's reciprocity. It's trying to make them smile, and in turn, you make yourself laugh. And then it makes it easier for you to walk into the next room. It makes it easier for you to do the next visit. It makes it easier for you to take on the next client. Lord knows when they say, Gennifer, I got a client who, I think to myself, who is going to be challenging and disrupt my peace and try to knock my Zen off balance. But you know what? If I laugh at the fact that you tried to disrupt my peace, you can't knock my Zen off balance. And now it starts like a ping pong effect of you laughing at yourself and the client laughing at you, and then eventually they laugh at themselves. They laugh at themselves. You know, it goes back and forth. And that goes back to the failure that you talked about. What happens in the moment of failure? You try to make them laugh. They don't laugh at you. You laugh at yourself. And then it goes right back to them. You know. But I mean, I like to laugh a lot.
Other questions, comments for Jen?
I'd like to make a comment. Gennifer, it was absolutely awesome. And I think, you know, hearing this once before when you came and did it with our group, it made it so much easier to do the work that we do. Because again, we have to laugh through some of the things we go through on a day-to-day basis with some of our clients and get them to understand also that they can laugh at themselves no matter what challenges they're dealing with. Because at the end of the day, we all are dealing with challenges. Whether we are working with them, we're supporting them, however, but it makes it easier for them and us to build that relationship so that they can reach the goal that they set for themselves. We don't set that goal. We just learn tools of how to get them to reach that goal and identify what it is in their lives that they want to attain. And we just laugh through that with them. Even though it can be challenges, we have days where, you know, I get up and I'm like, okay, who today? Who today? And who's going to give it to me today? But you just said it. You give it to me, I give it back to you, and then we meet in the middle with it. And it begins to work out. So I thank you for bringing that awareness again to us, because some days we get so caught up, especially with, you know, COVID going on now and having to work from home and making sure that we are able to meet the needs of our clients. We got to laugh through it and support them and laughing through it as well. So thank you. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you. As you know, just to note, I'd also like to and I should probably include it, but one of the things that I like about the acrostic activity is that, you know, sometimes you can do it, like I said, you can do it verbally, but the acrostic activity actually also helps to create a certain level of client accountability, because it's your name, it's your goals, it's your plan, you know. So it kind of develops a care plan and identifies some case management goals and tools that you can use, and the client essentially identifies them, you know, by saying, hey, you know, I like art, I'm ambitious, I can draw, you know what I mean? When they connect art to the A in their name, then you know that that client, one, if they have mental health issues, may benefit from art therapy. But as the mental health case manager, you make that connection. You know, you talked about being social, Robin, and the thing of it is, social bonds, you know, work to increase humor, but social bonds work for social workers. So you form that with your client, and it becomes very easy for them to kind of keep the timeline. And one of the things that I didn't get to discuss with you guys is that the number of letters in your name also serves as a timeline. Now, 8 is the number of letters in my name, okay? Sometimes it's a goal I can complete in 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 hours. But the bottom line is that 8 is my measure, okay? Some goals I will actually reach, you know, Robin, ROBB 6. Some things you can do in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 minutes, you know. So if you use that as your measure, then it makes it very easy. Lord knows I wish I had a short name, you know. But it takes me, you know, but if I use it as a timeline, then it holds me accountable for what I'd like to complete over the course of 8 weeks. we got less than, okay, more than 8 days until my birthday, but I'm gonna have a Gennifer good time for my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
8 different things I want to do for my birthday.
Yes, awesome.
Awesome.
And I really like the well, hi Jen, first of all. I
Hi.
really liked the SMILE acronym because I see myself more as a Santa little helper, but also like the crisis manager too. And when clients, like, they'll call me, I'm not necessarily a case manager, but clients will call me and say, hey Aaron, I need this, I need that, something came up with this, something came up with that, and I'll just like stop everything I'm doing and just say, okay, I got to 10 to fix this, and contact and talk to whoever I got to talk to. But the SMILE acronym helped me realize, hey, sometimes I should just stop the patient and just say, hey, let's stop and think about what's going on. Let's
Yeah.
measure, impact, learn. I can't remember the E, but I really did like
Embrace the experience.
embrace.
Embrace
Yes, I
the
really like those. Because it'll help me learn about what the client can do, what they're capable of doing, and then I can kind of help them gradually come out of needing my services for a lot of things that they can do for themselves. Because I tend to forget I'm here to help them graduate and be independent, and I forget to do that sometimes, and I kind of want to continue to be that support system. So that's not working to help me realize that that can help them be more independent with the things that they can do.
Thank you, Aaron. And let me tell you how I'm getting ready, I'm wrapping it up now, Alice, and I see
No,
you.
I was going to piggyback on Aaron's comment before I was going to say that I think that, I like how you had people identify their roles who helps at all kinds of things. It was pitched as for case managers, et cetera, but I actually think everybody who interfaces with the patients, providers, all medical providers all along could use some of that, because I think, it's not just H.U.M.O.R helps in every aspect of it. So, I walk in some days and look at my schedule. I'm like, oh my God, this person giving me the blues. But I go and I'm like, you give me the blues right now. And then we laugh about it. I know Dr. A. And then it becomes a moment, So I think everybody can use that. So I wish I'd seen more diversity in terms of who came on so they can recognize that they too can use this in their aspect of how they interface with patients.
And thank you guys. And I'll also let you know that, like, in my mind, much like a provider does a SOAP note, SMILE and things like that, work as acronyms, and they actually translate to, like I said, your case plan, your care management plan, because what you're looking at is their personal goals, which become their professional goals, the things they want to attain personally and professionally. It gets them to a point of, it gets their wheels turning, it gets them thinking about what it is that they want to do, what it is that they see for themselves, short term and long term, So it's not just, I do like the fact that it's customizable, and it does speak to a broader audience than case managers, but Lord knows I got whip on my clients sometimes. So I figure I'm gonna show y'all, listen, y'all, this is how we can whip them into shape, because, well, not whipping, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna smile them into shape. We're gonna whip them into shape. But remember, we're still trying to ETE. We're still trying to end the epidemic. And it starts with each and every role along the care continuum. Not just diagnosis. It's not just connect them with a medical case manager and that be that. No, what role do you play, and how can you make a simple smile translate into meeting their needs? That's what you're essentially doing.
Awesome. All right. Any last comments for Jen?
Gennifer, you did an awesome job. I came in a little late. Of course, I got a lot going on, but I do believe you presented this to the CAB.
Yes, I did present it to the
And to synchronicity, actually.
They really enjoyed it. Again, I was dealing with clients, with the youth then, and stepping out hand and, personal issues that they have going on within the CAB. But, I think they said that, that was one of the best experiences they ever had, and identifying certain things that they need to understand within themselves. But overall, I think this is always a great presentation that should be always presented to various of people, just not case managers. So you did a great job, and we appreciate you as staff.
Thank you. You guys warm my heart. Thank you. Y'all make me smile. I reached one of my goals. Y'all make me smile. Yes, it's my pleasure to share with you guys. Just, because I think that, and it's not that case managers don't get enough recognition, or it's not that they don't do enough work. No, they get both. They get the opportunity to do a lot of work, but I think that we really just need to, kind of be more. Don't be like the clocker. Just be more person-centered in your approach with your client, no matter where you are on the spectrum, no matter what discipline. And it certainly begets results. I promise you. Keep making y'all all these promises. Somebody better let me know it works. I made y'all all these promises. I promise you it works, but it does.
Hey, Jen, where can we find this recording?
What? You can reach me at grobin32@jhmi.edu. I'll be more than happy to share the slides with you.
So everyone, thanks Gennifer, but everyone that attended today will get a copy of the slides as well as a recording.
Yeah. And I'm sure Gennifer will be happy to vet your jokes before you use them, so she can email her directly.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Remember, our next one is going to be motivational interviewing in the era of COVID. So telemedicine and things, how do we translate those skills that we oftentimes do in person? How do we move them to virtual spaces more effectively? And so Megan Toller is going to be doing that. And I think, what's that date, Marina? It's completely blanking right now.
The 17th. It's, oh, hold on. Let me make sure.
Okay.
Because it just went down, of course.
I think it was the 17th. It was on your first slide, Jen. Good technique and good tool.
That's the 14th.
And the 14th. So look forward to seeing you all next year for that. If you like what you see, please give us feedback. If there are topics that you want to hear, this is going to be a continuous series. So we have many set up already, but we're always looking to add new speakers. If you have something you think you could share, we'd love to, again, amplify your voices as well. So with that, I'm going to close it and say, everybody be safe, and we'll see you next year. See humor, Gennifer. See you on the other side. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.